Hey guys, this is John Carrick, author of Legacy of a Mad Scientist, Legend of Ashley Fox, 2 amazing audiobooks here on YouTube for you guys to check out. There are also novels on Amazon. You can buy them if you want. Download the ebooks for free from Smashwords. We've also got a comic book for you in the description as a PDF. But before we get to today's Marvel Comics Tarzan that we're going to look at, this is number 23, I want to say. Yep. We're going to look at the conflicted cards. This is the 5 of Spades. And this one is, imagine World War III is broken out, civilization has broken down, and things have finally calmed down. You're restarting the government, and you've been invited to help draft the new laws. Where do you start and why? What we've got kind of works. Declaration of Independence, the Bill of Rights. I suppose the conversation would have to start there and what you want to change about it and why. Because that seems pretty straightforward. The best it's ever been. And if you can improve on that, I'd be interested in hearing how. Tarzan number 23, Marvel Comics. Bill Mantlo has been promoted to writer. It's Sal Buscema, still drawing. We have a new inker, and I've forgotten his name already. Pablo Marcos is the inker. It's a good cover. And this wraps up the meandering 7 or 8 issue arc that is not even had any direction until the last couple issues when they introduced the Sonic Cannon. And now we get a fight finally between Tarzan and the Mad Arab Abdul Abuzal, some nonsense like that. This guy whose face you can never see because of his fancy bandana. And Tarzan stabs him a couple times. This comic is a great example of the difference between showing and telling, because Sal Buscema is showing us what happens, but half the time Bill Mantlo is telling us in such a way that it's almost contradictory. In some scenes, it is directly contradictory. So here they're having a fight in front of this crystal, which powers the Sonic Cannon. The Sonic Cannon has been destroyed because Princess Aisha smashed it with a lead pipe. And what's happening here is the Mad Arab is being hurt. The way this breaks down is that this crystal absorbs emotions. And once you start feeding it emotions, it sets up like some kind of psychic link to you and drains your power through your emotions. And so when Tarzan hits it, he recognizes that this is what's done to him. This is what's being written. This is not what's drawn. Okay? The drawing could be, God, it's so unexplained. Here's the obvious thing. Smashing the crystal should solve the mystery, should solve the problem. But they can't really do that because the crystal is their way in and out of Hollow Earth. How, if they smash the crystal, they're trapped there forever. So Tarzan gets zapped and he realizes he's got to drop all emotional attachment to this fight. And then we cut back to the savages. This guy is the commander of the tribe. And they're called savages throughout the comic. I didn't just make that up. That's how they're referred to. And he is the commander of the tribe that the young guy with Princess Aisha is a member of. This is the leader of that tribe. And here we get the moon where Princess Aisha is unconscious with the young warrior. And he wakes up first and attempts to carry her off, but is attacked by a mare. M-A-H-A-R. If they had just called them M-A-H-E-R, then we could have really named them as Jews, shape-shifting lizard Jews. They do talk, they are in command of high technology, and they do see everyone else as a food source. So maybe that's what David Kraft was writing about in his little diabolically hinted way. Here we get more of the Mad Arab fighting Tarzan. And the other mercenaries decide to participate. This one is named Pierre Leclerc. He is French And I believe he starts fighting here against the Sogoths, who are also savages. This guy, Glenn Barrett, wants to shoot the Mad Arab and obviously shoot the crystal, destroy the crystal. But they never do that. That's not what happens. Apparently, what's written into the story is that Tarzan and Glenn Barrett both disconnect, both go emotionally dark, like white out their emotions, but the Mad Arab is still very mad, and so the crystal drains his energy. And Tarzan realizes that if he can trip him into the crystal, that it will suck him dry. And so that's what he does. In here, the Mad Arab basically gets subsumed or disintegrated or evaporated or burned up by the crystal when he touches it, like it's made of electricity. Meanwhile, the young savage is facing down this mayor who had his eye put out by Princess Aisha, or by the prince. I'm not sure. I don't remember which. Doesn't really matter. None of this really matters. Although here is kind of cool. He snaps the monster's jaw. Instead of it biting through his arms, he's able to break its jaws. I swear to God, I've seen Conan do that, and I think I've seen Tarzan do it too. Maybe even in this series. So, here we get the young savage carrying the princess out to a waiting Thripidor, basically a flying pterodactyl with a saddle, and so he can get her off the moon. Then we have these guys facing down the end of the Myers and the Sogoths while they're breaking into the Crystal Temple to destroy the Mad Arab. And here we have Tarzan looking at the Mad Arab's remains. I wish they'd gotten Barry Smith to do this series. Could you imagine that? That would have been really epic. To get him to do the beginning of Conan and the beginning of Tarzan. That would have been great. I wonder what he was working on at this point. See, here is a perfect example of the story contradicting the images. So the rule is show, don't tell. And here we get the telling contradicting the showing contradicting. But anyhow, Tarzan gives his little, cry. And this guy says he's about to give it, but then he doesn't. I don't know what this is about anymore. This book is doomed. Here we get the prince and the unconscious princess. He's not even a prince, he's just a warrior. She wakes up as he flies her away from whatever danger, and they share a kiss and fly off into the sunset, and then Tarzan is down here at the bottom, and everything's happy, everything's resolved. Only they haven't escaped from Hollow Earth. And we don't know how they do that. I suppose we'll find out tomorrow. My guess is that tomorrow Tarzan is just walking through the jungle. And he hasn't even met Jane yet. So it says something about Jane down here. Maybe we just jump ahead years into the future with a new story. That's entirely possible. I wouldn't put anything past Marvel Comics. So, what does this have to do with what I'm working on? Why am I going off on old comics and blah, blah, blah? Same stuff I talk about every day. I don't want to talk about politics. Obviously, that's the heart of all of this. The culture war has been poisoned by politics. They say politics is downstream from culture and culture is downstream from the arts. But the backflow of money has obviously poisoned all of that. So it's kind of significant. My point is, what I was talking about last couple of days is how trade paperbacks have changed the market, and that's really something Shane Davis was talking about and recognized and observed. While other people were saying that the market hasn't changed in 30 years, trade paperbacks really have changed things quite a bit, especially in that you don't get the single pocket issues quite as often as you used to. And I don't know if that's for better or worse. It has changed the nature of comic book writing in so that everything is 5 and 6 issue arcs. That is significant. that has gone hand in glove with this idea of the Netflix pitch. And I am trying to break, the way I am going to break myself of that is single page stories, 2-page stories, 4-page stories, no epics for at least the first 3 issues. Nothing more than a 6-page story. I don't even want to do 12 pagers. I want to do 6 pages tops for the first 3 issues, 3 and crowdfunded issues of like 40 to 48 pages. And then once me and Jay, who did this, once we've accomplished that, I believe then we will try to get into a shop. We will get 6 issues done and try and pitch it to a publisher, or even do it ourselves. Produce 6 issues, maybe crowdfunded, and get them into shops. That would be ideal. And meanwhile, develop a video game where we can promote this, and this can promote the video game, back and forth. And then bring in other comic book creators. Once we're able to establish ourselves, if we're able to do 6-issue arc and 3 issues of a sort of continuous ensemble crowdfunded book, if we were able to produce 9 issues, I believe then we would be competent to help other creators market their work, either through our video game or through our work, put ads in the book or something like that. But all of that, none of that matters, and this is kind of relevant to this. All the best style, the technique, the talent, the skill, all of that doesn't serve you in the least good stead if you don't have anything to say. And through the last 6 issues, we've watched great artists, their talent be wasted because the writer didn't have any direction. So that's important. And that's kind of, that's why I've taken my time with this. And that's why I'm so proud of these stories. Feel free to check these out. The links are at the end of the episode and should show up in just a second because I'm pretty much done for today. And I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. See ya.